Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Nuria Corby from thehomeboss.com, and I love helping creators like you bring their book ideas to life. In today's video, we're diving into the next step in our coloring book creation journey, and that is designing the perfect book cover. In my last video, I showed you step by step how to create the book interior for a coloring book, and as promised, today we're going to create the cover for our coloring book. So a great cover is really essential. It's the first thing potential buyers see, and it can make or break your book's success. But don't worry, I'm here to guide you every step of the way using Canva and some insider tips. And before we jump into the design, let me quickly talk about what makes a great book cover. It's mainly three things. First of all, it's clarity. Your title should be really easy to read. Number two is the visual appeal. So for that, use colors, fonts, and imagery that align with your theme. And number three is professionalism. You want your cover to look professional, and a polished cover builds trust and attracts more buyers. And in my last video, we created the interior for this book, and it was all about teddy bears and cozy, relaxing, coloring fun. So since this book is all about tranquility and fun, we'll use warm, inviting colors and imagery of cozy teddy bears. So let's head into Canva to start designing. So first of all, we'll have to set up our canvas, and for that we need to know the exact size for our book cover. So to find out exactly what the size should be, we're going to head over to the KDP cover calculator. And I will leave a link below the video to that so you can access it easily. The KDP cover calculator lets us find our dimensions really easily. So all we have to do is fill in all of these sections here. So the binding type is going to be paperback, and the interior is going to be black and white. You know, you can choose between premium color, but our coloring book is black and white in the interior. The paper type is going to be white paper. You have a choice of white or cream. And the reading direction is from left to right. We also want to measure our units in inches, so we select that rather than millimeters. And the interior trim size for our book is 8.5 by 11 inches. If you remember, in our last video, we created our book in this size without bleed. And we now need to know the number of pages, and we had 68 pages for our interior. It's always a good idea if this number is divisible by 2. So I know when I made the book it was really 67 pages, but I added a blank page just to make it 68 because it's easier for the printers. So now we've done all that, we can click on Calculate Dimensions, and this will create a template for us. So all we have to do now is click on Download Template, and this will download the template onto our computer. And this will download the template to a zip file. So we want to open this zip file into a folder, and I have downloaded them into my teddy bear coloring book folder that I created in my last video. And you can see that it's downloaded 3 files. One is a PDF file, one is a PNG file, and the other one is a README file. So the one that we want is the PNG file because we want to upload it onto Canva, and it's much easier to upload a PNG to Canva. And I'm going to click on it. And this is what the file looks like. So you can see the size that we want is here. So we want to create our cover, which is the front, the back, and the spine all in one file. And the size for that has to be 17.403 by 11.250. Let's upload this onto Canva and also create a canvas in this size. So for that, we click onto Custom Size here on Canva, and we want to change the pixels to inches. Always remember to do that first when you're working on Canva, because if you enter the numbers here and you haven't changed it to inches, it just messes up all the numbers. So we want to do that first. And let's just remember quickly what the size was for our canvas. So for that, we have our template here. So we want this number here, 17.403. Let's type that in here. And the height is 11.250. And then we click on Create New Design. And this gives us the exact size that we need for our cover. And I've also uploaded the template onto Canva. So what I can do now is click on the template and place it over our canvas. And then I adjust it to fit the canvas exactly. And this is a good idea because now you can see where you have to design. So this is your front cover and you're going to design your front page here. And this is your back cover and this is the spine. And on the back, there is usually space for a barcode. So you want to make sure that there is no text or not any important images that will be covered up by the barcode. And you also want to make sure that you work well within these margins so that nothing gets cut off when the printer cuts your book. So now we can start designing our book cover. And in my last video, I explained to you that the cover should really reflect the interior of your coloring book. I've seen a lot of coloring books on Amazon where the cover was completely different to the interior. You really want to create a cover that is an exact copy of one of your interior pages, but in color, so that people know how it will look like when they color in your book, so they can use it as an example. And what I like to do is I like to take a look at my interior. So if we go back to when we created the interior file, I'll just quickly show you. This was my interior that I created in my last video. And what I want to do is I want to recreate this first page. And if you remember, I talked about using images from the Publisher Vault. The Publisher Vault is a monthly subscription where you get 2 packs of designs every month. And if you need a reminder or you haven't heard of the Publisher Vault, watch my last video because you need to watch that video before you watch this one so that you understand why we're doing this. So I want to use the same images that I used for this interior and I want to recreate that on the cover. So if you remember, when I made this interior, I used a background image and a character image. So I'm going to go back into my Publisher Vault files and I'm going to upload this same background, but I want to upload the colored version. And I also want to upload this little character, but in the colored version. So let's go back onto our cover design and I've already uploaded the background. So that's the background. So I'm going to place it over my front cover and I make sure that I stretch it right into the edges. And we can either place this on top of the template so that we can see where we can place our text and everything, or you can just remove the template and create the cover without using the template. I'm going to remove the template because I find that easier. And what I like to do now is I like to fill this back cover with a color, and I like to pick up a color from the front cover. So what I do is I click on the space that I want to color, and then I choose the color up here. And what I do is I take the color picker and I pick a color that I like. So I quite like this green. So that way my whole book has got the same color now. So this is the back cover for my book. And now what I want to do is I want to place the little character on my book, and I want to do that here. So more or less, if I go back onto my first page, so I just check where I've placed it. So I think this is roughly right. And as I want this page to be exactly the same as the interior page. And then what I can do is, if we go back to our interior, I want to go to our first page, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the text from the title, and I'm going to copy paste it. I'll go back onto my cover and then paste the text there, and then I drag it onto my cover, onto my front cover, and you can always make it a little bit bigger. That is totally up to you. And then I also want to get the subtitle, so I go back and copy the subtitle, and then I place this on the front cover. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the font to white, but I also want to create an effect, and I want this outline because it's a lot easier to read it with the outline. And I want to change the color of the outline to black. And I think I'm going to divide the text, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Oops. It's very tricky on Canva. When you're moving one thing, sometimes you're moving the wrong thing. So I'm not too happy with this because I think this doesn't really stand out. So maybe I'm going to put the subtitle down here. And I might make the outline a bit thicker. And it hasn't changed it to black. Let me change it to black. That's a bit better. So now I can read it a lot better. I think I will put it here. So you've got a lot more time than I have. I'm doing this very quickly just for the video, but you have time to do this in a much better way, and you can take your time and make sure that you place everything the way you want it to look. And we do need to also write our pen name on this book. And I know that last time when I created it, I thought I used my own name, but I've changed my mind and I'm going to use a pen name, and I'm going to use Ramona May. Make sure that you check on Amazon that there's not another author with the same name. I've checked this and I've also Googled it, and I couldn't find another Ramona May. So I'm going to use that as my pen name. And I'll make the pen name a little bit smaller. That doesn't need to be very prominent because no one knows who Ramona May is anyway. If it was Coco Wyo, it would be different. I would make it quite big so people know it's Coco Wyo. If you have an established brand that people recognize, then you can make your pen name bigger, but I think it's okay to just have it in a small size. You can also put your pen name on the spine together with your title. I don't usually do that with books that are very thin. If you're writing a non-fiction book or a fiction book and it's quite a thick book, then you have plenty of space on the spine. But for these type of books, I don't think there's enough space, so I usually don't have anything on the spine. And I think I might change the color of the background because it's, I don't know, I'm just going to choose a different one. So I think I'm going to make it this slightly darker color, and I think this is our cover. So now we just have to create the blurb here, and you can use ChatGPT to help you with this. I have used ChatGPT to give me some ideas, and I've changed it to suit my book a bit better. So I'm just going to copy paste that, and I'm just going to place this on the back cover. And I'm going to make sure that the font is easy to read. So I've written a text here: unwind, relax, and discover the joy of coloring. I'm just going to tidy this up a little bit. Step into a world of cozy moments and creative relaxation with Teddy Time, cozy scenes for relaxed coloring. This delightful coloring book features 50 charming illustrations of teddy bears in their most serene and heartwarming settings, perfect for adults and children alike. And I don't think it's 50, so I have to make sure that I've got the exact number of pages. So always double check whatever you're writing. So I'm just going to quickly check it and come back. So it's actually 30 adorable teddy bear illustrations. So we're going to change that. Always check and double check as many times as you need to for your books. That's really important. I'm rushing through this because I'm creating the video, but if this was a book that I was creating, I would take my time. I would take a lot longer to create this book. So, and then what I like to do is I like to take my template and I just like to place it over this book just to check that there isn't anything covered up. So I place it right over the book, and then what I do is I go up here where the transparency is and I bring it right down so that my design can shine through. You can see the design through the template now. And I always like to check that the barcode isn't covering any text. And I just want to make sure that everything is aligned properly. Make sure there's no text too close to the edges of the book. And once you're happy with that, then you can remove the template. And this is your finished cover, and it's all ready to upload to Amazon. So once you're happy with what you have created, you can then download this as a PDF. So we click on download and we download it as a PDF print. PDF standard is for things that you can just use online, but because this is going to be a printed book, we're going to click on PDF print, and very important here to click flatten PDF. That's very important because otherwise there can be errors once you upload it to Amazon KDP. And the other thing that a lot of people ask me about is this color profile. So RGB is best for digital use and CMYK is best for professional printing. Now the problem with this is that this creates a much larger file size. And I found that sometimes the size is too large to upload onto Amazon. And that is the reason why I always use RGB. And there's absolutely no reason why you can't use this, because the Amazon printers convert this to the right setting anyway. So every book that I've uploaded onto Amazon, and I've got quite a few books, they are all downloaded as RGB. I use Canva for all of my books now, and this is what I've always done, and I've never ever had any problems. I've had problems when I've downloaded them in the CMYK version because the file size was too large, and I've always gone back to RGB, and I haven't noticed any difference in quality at all. So once you've done that, you can download it and save your file on your computer, and that's it. You now have a beautiful professional cover for your coloring book, and in my next video I'll show you how to upload your book to Amazon KDP step by step, so stay tuned for that. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the next video. I'd love to know what you think of this, whether you found it helpful, and thank you so much for watching. See you next time.